Hello, 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 hello. Welcome to the Hobby Corner. Happy Monday. Hope you're all well. Why is that not freezing? Oh, that's going to be annoying. Let's view the stream, view the chat. There we go. Lovely jubbly. There we go. Scott Fianato, how you doing? Hope you're well. Welcome back. I ain't see you for a bit. Why is there a fleshlight redeem? Play it, you'll like it. Master Mouse, how's it going? Oh, blimey. You're early. Hope you're well. Oshi, how you doing? Long time. Hope you're well as well. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. Yes, it is me. I know I've been a bit absent. But, you know, lots of stuff's going on in the background at the moment. So, yeah. Just sort of getting all my ducks in a row, you know, because soon I'll be starting a new job. So, be interesting. Just got back from Warhammer World. Nice little 550-mile round trip. Nice. What did you do? What did you get up to? Were you there for the event on the weekend? Because I didn't even know that event was happening. And some mates of mine were there. I was like, you could have told me. Time Guy, how's it going? Hope you're well. Welcome, Void. I hope you're good. So yeah, I've been a little absent. It's been all very busy. Went to the charity event on the weekend. There you go. For mental health charity, wasn't it? Yeah. I totally would have gone. Well, actually, no, I wouldn't have, because I'm kind of strapped at the moment. Aren't I ever? Over 5k. Oh, excellent. Nice. That's awesome. My Twitch redeem seems to be... I have the points. The button just says... Does not want to be. Just refresh your browser or your app, dude. And I'm sure it'll be fine after that. Hey, cheers. What is everyone drinking tonight anyway? I will. I believe it's what's her name? The daughter of Cain, is it? Or something like that? I can't remember. I'm terrible with names. But anyway, I know it's one of the content creators on Instagram who was sort of fronting it. Stork, how's it going? Hope you're well. You got a nice mix of folk in the chat. I like it. New, old, and medium. It's great. Void drinking tea. Good boy, good boy. Drinking water as I drank far too much enjoyable liquids the last 3 days. Oh, well, there you go. So, quick rundown of what I've been up to. The sad news, my granddad got ill again. Infection. Very stubborn. Wouldn't go back into hospital. Finally got convinced to go back in hospital after a couple of days. Just before it got too serious where, like you get to a tipping point where whether or not you're going to recover or not. So we managed to get him in before that. So he's on the recovering side, but he's still a bit, So that was something that took some immediate attention, because I just wanted to be available for my gran, if she needed any help with anything and stuff like that. The business as well, trying to get that organized, because we're giving in the notice to the storage facility, because the storage unit that we got was an absolute steal, and we didn't know how long it was going to be at that price. We found out now until the end of this month. So organizing the stock in the flat so that it works and it's not in the way all the time but it's organised enough that we can get to what we need to, because we're going to keep it as a side hustle for a little while. So that's taken up a lot of time, plus the usual parceling and sending it all off and packaging. Like last night, it took me 3 hours to defluff and, you know, get rid of any pet hairs or whatever off of 51 items of clothing, and then pack them into airtight bags, and then pack those into wine boxes. And I had 5 wine boxes all like strapped and taped together, and then I black bagged the whole thing like wrapping paper, strapped that all together. And I'll tell you what, I got to the impost locker. It wouldn't fit, the door wouldn't close on it, like by a little bit, so I just pulled it out. And it's quite long, so I upended it and just slammed it on the floor just to squash it out. And slid it back in, closed perfectly. But you know, like, I didn't damage anything because there was no delicate stuff in it. It's just clothing in little air sealed bags, but sometimes the bags sort of inflate a little bit, so they take up a bit more space and push the boxes out. So I had to squeeze it down essentially. But anyway, that was fun because I was up until like 2 o'clock. I won't tell the wife. Doing that.
Sorry to disturb you.
It's alright.
You know, Big Beast in the storage. Someone's offering 18.
It's too low.
I think it's 22.
Yeah.
What's the absolute lowest? Sorry, I don't disturb you again.
22.
I've heard 22. So.
Yeah. Oh, see, look at us. So business talk, right? Because we got Frankie Figures. Hope you're well. Welcome in. Because we got a big pallet of toys. So follow the. I'm sure I shared it, but anyway, we got a Facebook page. If you're following me on Facebook, you would see a few posts. A few posts from me for that group. Join the group. We've got some cracking deals on there. Some great gift ideas. We're never going to get a pallet of toys again because it's too much stress and the margins are way poo. So, not doing that again. But we are going to get some perfumes and stuff this week, so keep an eye out for that. But what was I saying? Yes, I was up very late. I had the medical today, which I passed. Because eyes are good, ears are good, you know, I'm good. I'm just a little soft, a little pudgy, but my weight isn't too bad, 92 kg. It's alright, it's like 14 and a half stone. No, it's not, it's like just over 14 stone. But I've always suspected that I have shrunk, and I have shrunk. I shrunk since the last time I measured myself, like 10 years ago. I was 6'1". I'm now a measly 6 foot. I've lost an inch, people. Shocking. So yeah, that's all that. Oh, last week Thursday I got to see Blink 182 on their farewell tour as well, which was phenomenal. Absolutely amazing show. So really enjoyed that. And then Friday, someone gave us some free tickets to a small theatre up in Victoria called the Other Palace. So not the Victoria Palace, but the Other Palace. And it was like in the basement of this new building. And it was this nice little theatre, very personal. There was these 4 people, and they were doing like a homage to musicals. It was called like The Show Must Go On. You know, an evening of musical stuff. So these 4 people, they would take turns, or they would come together and they'd do little bits from some of the most well-known musicals throughout the years. And it was a really good show. We really enjoyed it. So that was a nice night. 'Cause, you know, me and Mrs. Hobby Corner, we haven't had a night out in a while, so it was nice to enjoy something different as well. So busy weekend, lots of stuff going on. I'm just waiting for my references to clear and HR to get back to me to say, yeah, we'll send the contract through and I can finally sign that and start work next Monday. And that's when I'm going to know when I'm going to be available to do live streams, because after the training, I'll be on shifts and I have no idea how that's going to look. Spooky, how you doing? I hope you're well. Welcome in, welcome in. Right, got 5 more minutes of chin wag, so let me know what you lot have been up to, what you've been doing on the weekend, you know, hobby news, all that stuff. We want to talk about that, and then 9 o'clock we're going to get this show going because we've got memes of the week to cover. So both hobby and non-hobby related stuff. We want to have a look at Community Corner as well. I don't even know if anyone entered in the KFC, but we'll have a look at that. And then we'll do the new KFC. And then of course I've got issues 7 through 10 to have a look through, so we'll crack them open and we'll have a look at that. So we've got lots to do. The missus and I are going to see Disturbed in the week. I got a mate who's doing that as well, actually. It was her idea, was it? Disturbed are great though. They are great live. I saw them a few years back when they were headlining for it was the In Flames tour with Avenged Sevenfold. Oh man, it was a good night. It really was a good night. So yeah, you'll definitely enjoy it. Oh, there we go. I needed that. So yeah, Master Mouse went to the charity tournament event at Warhammer Worlds over the weekend. I said a 550-mile round trip, but all in a good cause, which I think is great. And I wish I could have been there myself, but I didn't even know it was on. But yeah, maybe next year. Who knows? But yeah, no, I think they were raising money for a mental health charity, which, you know, we fully endorse, because we too have done work with Mind UK, which of course is a mental health charity here in the UK. So, you know, it's nice to see that stuff still going on. Stork painted a Vespid, bought an epic scale army box, and did some Dark Heresy. Ooh, epic scale, hey? You know what? I'm interested by epic scale because it's quick to paint up, right? It's a lot of dry brushing, some shades, and then pick out a couple of details, and you're good to go. I like that. I like that idea. I took the 5-year-old to the FLG. She picked out some D&D minis and we painted them together. Ah, ain't that lovely? You know what? We've been so busy here. I actually do have models set aside for the kids to paint, but because we're so busy all the time, or because there's like a lot of other distractions that don't require space and setting up, because, you know, the family home is always chaotic. We haven't really got round to it. Like when we went to the UK Games Expo, and we got these from Mini Wargaming Dave himself, right, from his line of chaos inspired miniatures. Like I was gonna spray them up and get the kids to paint them. Never got round to it. And I did some test prints with the 3D printer. You know, the fancy looking chess pieces from Elegoo. Ready to get, again, primed and then paper. You know what it's like, best intentions and everything, but you just end up with like a million different things that you want to do, and only 5 minutes worth of time that you can do it with, you know. So it's kind of a pain. Okay, let's clear these out the way. So this desk is very much how I left it the last time I sat down to work. So just got to move some bits and pieces around so I can actually show you those mags along with some other bits and pieces. You go up there because you're painted and you're painted. You go over there. Let's clear this out the way. So who's excited to see what's in these issues? And is anyone actually collecting Combat Patrol at the moment? And of course, if you want to see me carry on covering them, then feel free to join the memberships on YouTube or Twitch. If you got Prime, you can use your free Prime subscription. All that great stuff, dude. Right, I don't want to dock myself, so dock or docks. Have you heard about the Snot Goblin modular terrain falling for the FOMO? Also, I could just use that money for more models. Snot Goblin modular terrain. I have no idea about that. Well, remind me after we have a look at these, and we'll have a quick look at that. Right, so first things first, let's have a look. Let's change this to this. Okay. Alright. Let's turn that off. Don't bloody need that. And let's put the cam on auto. Well, actually, we do need that light. There we are. Configure. Take your time, take your time. There we go. Alright, let's shrink this down because I just changed the resolution so we can try and fit more onto screen. Onto screen. There we go, that's a bit better. Okay, so this is what the folder looks like. So you got the different factions on there. Khorne, you got Imperial Guard or Astra Militarum, Gene Stealer Cults, the Leagues of Votan or Squats. You got your Orcs on the spine, and then Astartes, Nids, Eldar, Eldari, and then generic Chaos, which I think is pretty cool. And then of course inside you have your dividers, and then in black and white the same design again. Looks nice. It's decent. It's a nice change. The previous one did have like a galactic map on it, which was nice to see. But of course, no luck with that right now. Right, so I've got them in order. Cool. So this is issue 7. Let's get these out of the way. Okay, so in this issue, you get 2 sprues of Turbogauns. Cool. I haven't built them or painted them, so there's that. Also, you get a measuring thing, so that means I guess you're gonna start playing for realsies now. So let's have a look inside this issue, shall we? Unleash the Swarm, Hive Mind, and Move and Measure. Okay. So, of course, we'll go over the building stuff, blah, blah, blah. There you go. So the painting bit will be in the second issue when you get the rest of it with the bases and the swarm. So, here's a 2-part issue. And then here we've got the Angels of Death. The Space Marines are more than warriors. They are a symbol of the Imperium's might and are revered and feared across the Imperium as bringers of holy wrath. Cool. I do like these scenic posts, you know, like the way they position themselves is always quite nice, isn't it? Lightning strikes. Space Marines are few in number, but the impact of their attacks is massive. The drop pods and orbital attack craft deliver squads of warriors into the heart of beleaguered war zones. Once there, the Space Marines launch brutal decapitation strikes that leave the entire enemy force reeling and unable to respond. A little bit about how they work with the Astra Militarum, the Skitarii legions of the Adeptus Mechanicus, and the Adeptus Sororitas over here. Lovely jubbly. We've got a little bit on the hive mind. Ooh. Every Tyranid is joined by the hive mind. The hive mind is a vast and unknowable swarm intelligence that allows the Tyranids to act with terrifying coordination in battle. Ooh. Fancy, right? So the hive mind is beyond human comprehension. None know how fast it really is or what it wants. However, its powers are evident to all who battle the Tyranids. Every Tyranid is an extension of the hive mind's will. You could picture the swarm as a single vast beast, where warrior organisms such as termagants and von Ryan leapers act as its teeth and claws, while psychic synapse organisms act as its brain. This allows the Tyranids to react faster than any ordinary army, but it is also a weakness for cunning strategists to exploit. By taking out the synapse organisms, lesser organisms are left without guidance and revert to bestial instinctive behavior. However, synapse creatures are often the deadliest in the Tyranid force, and so this is much easier said than done. They didn't send whippy sticks. Whippy sticks, yeah, man. I mean, me and my brother back in the day, yeah, caned each other so badly with those. I think that was why, though. An unknowable presence. The exact nature of the hive mind is a complete mystery to humanity. Some claim that this alien sentience is a god, while others maintain it is a collective intelligence or psychic presence. In truth, it is so alien as to be unknowable. It cannot be understood or reasoned with. Something about how it coordinates itself, and then synapse organisms. Look at this hive tyrant right here. Rrr, big scary gribbly. Just burn it with fire. Synapse organisms broadcast the indomitable will of the hive mind across the Tyranid swarm. From hovering zoanthropes to swift Tyranid primes and towering hive tyrants, synapse creatures can be found wherever the Tyranids attack. In their presence, even the lowliest bioforms fight with ruthless ferocity. Isn't that nice? And here's the monstrosities. So we got a Neurotyrant, which is one ugly SOB. I'm gonna just say there, you know. No one is with that thing for its brain. It's all about the tentacles. You got a Tervicorn, which is a disgusting thing that spews out more spawn. It's just a big old birthing chamber with legs. And then a Tyranid Warrior, which is pretty deadly. They're tough going. I wonder if they're going to get an update, or if they're settled with those. Who knows? Decapitation. Ooh, we got a little story here. Let's read the first bit of it, yeah? Alright, let's lower the lights. Let's get the mic close. Here we go. The Ultramarines have been told that the world could not be allowed to fall, that without its colossal farms, billions would starve. In the first hour, they had joked and shared battle stories, and cheered for the Primarch and Macragge. It was the 6th hour of fighting now, and Fabian's ammo counter sounded in his helmet like a funerary bell. While the Space Marines could dismiss the red warning signal in his helmet, he could not dismiss the inevitable. The Tyranids were winning. It mattered not that Fabian and his squad had killed dozens of the beasts. For each that died, 3 more seemed to take their place. It was impossible to discern the surface of the planet. The ground was carpeted with corpses, rippers weaving beneath fallen termagants to capture any wasted biomass. So far, 2 of his battle brothers had died, and he felt their loss bitterly. He had fancied Cassius for a sergeant one day, while Antonius was barely more than a new recruit. There would be no replacing the experience or courage these warriors brought to the chapter. Fabian was not afraid of death. No Space Marine was. But he would not countenance further losses. Every warrior was needed by the Imperium, and Fabian would not spend them without reason. With a grunt of dissatisfaction and a sharp gesture of a hand, he commanded the squad to withdraw, covering them in the fighting retreat with his penultimate magazine of ammo. He and his remaining troops, a dozen or so warriors, drawn from various shattered squads, fell back behind an acid-stained bunker. The walls would not hold for long. No matter. Fabian had not come here to fight, but to think. And Space Marines were very quick thinkers indeed. He muted the grisly din of battle. Thousands of claws scrabbling on rockery outside, the hideous gnashing of alien teeth, and opened the squad-wide vox. Theoretical. Further continued action without alteration means unacceptable losses. Kellerman's blood flows in our veins. We will not spill it without good cause. I require suggestions. Kalis, an Infernus Marine with fiery temper matched his armament, was first. We have combat knives for a reason, Captain. Let us cut our way through this horde. Who claims our sword arms will falter before their numbers do? Fabian considered Callus's words. Perhaps in a mortal soldier's mouth, they would have sounded like bravado. But Callus was a Space Marine, and there was sense to what he said. Still, the Tyranids were lethal at close range. Already, Fabian's armour was stained from acid burns and deep claw rents. The next to speak was Malik, a Terminator of considerable age. Fabian knew Malik as a good warrior, but the old veteran had never shown much aptitude for command. Ooh. Well, I'm not going to spoil the rest of it. You're going to have to read it yourselves. No, we didn't. What did the old coffin dodger say? Oh, okay. We'll read this one last bit, yeah? Still, what he lacked in tactical knowledge, he more than made up for in the kind of earthly, practical advice that old soldiers are full of. His voice rumbled across the fox like a thunderhead. Find the biggest one and take its head. It worked on Macragge. It'll work here. Makes sense, right? shot the bloody head off of the biggest so-and-so. Alright. That's a cool little story. Okay, so moving on, we learn about the movement. Okay, this means 5 inches. You see the little corners? My porters, they're just hungry. Nothing comes for free, dude. You gotta pay the price. And yeah, on all of the things on the data sheets, it tells you under M where you move, and then you go from the front to the front. Okay, that's how you move. That's how you measure fairly. Unit coherency. Everyone's got to be within 2 inches of each other. There is a caveat to that though that they haven't put in here because they're simplifying it. But essentially, every model has to be within 2 inches of 2 other models. If there is more than 3. Or 3 or more. Yeah, more than 3. Otherwise, you can have 3 dudes and conga line it, I believe. Where you can move, you can't move through the enemy. You can move freely there, and you can't move off the table. That makes sense. You also can't move within 1 inch of an enemy unit. That's the engagement range. That's like the minimum for charge. So that's it. More than 7? That's not right. There's 5 here. There's 5. You count it. There's 5. Anyway. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Hang on. Wait, did I keep that sound effect? Let me see. Moving units, you move them as one, so you got to keep them as coherent as possible, where possible. You never take more than what you started with. You always end up with less. Library. Oh, my alerts. Here we go. I don't think I saved that one. Oh no, I did. Here we go. Oh dear.
Oh, brother.
Hey, there we go. Oh, we like it. Oh, it's glitching everywhere. Terrible. Weapon ranges. We'll just wait for that to finish. So, weapon ranges. You always got to target the nearest unit. Well, within range anyway. If you've got the range though, and you want to shoot a different unit up that's further away, than the one that is closer to you, I believe. I can't remember what you got to do. Do they get like a cover save? I think they just get +1 to the arm set, or is it -1 to hit? I can't remember. Shows how much I bloody actually play. Line of sight. Can't look over that because that's decided as too high for you to look over, but you can move yourself around and then see it. There we go. Easy. Nice. There we go. Hobby corner. Misinforming rules since what? 2017. Also, you wanted to know what this one was. I'm just going to play it. This is the last one I'm going to play. There you go. That cracks me up every time. Alright, waking the swarm. Despite the valiant efforts of the Space Marines, the Tyranid swarm continues to swell. Amid twitching hive nodes, clutches of termagants are growing. Ever proactive, the Space Marines have dispatched a strike team to shatter one such hive node. First, though, they will need to slay the barbed gaunts guarding it. Okay, so that's your setup. You'll have your Infernus Marines over in this corner, your 5 barbed gaunts over there. So these dudes like that. These dudes like that. And then you go pew, 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 pew. Right, so basically these dudes have got to set fire to these, I assume. And I'm not the only one who makes noises when they play with their toy soldiers. So, how to win. In this mission, your goal is to move forward with the Infernus Marines, using cover to avoid being attacked by the barbed gaunts. You win if you slay all the barbed gaunts with your shooting. Oh, you don't even have to set fire to this stuff. That was a mission from a previous one. You just got to kill the barbed gaunts. Ah, that's easy enough. Just don't get shot. So, use the cover so you can't get shot at. Like that, see? Can't get shot at. Then you move around. And then you can shoot. See? Pew, pew, pew. Alright. What does it say? When the Space Marines win, it says, with boots, blades, and purging flame, the Infernus squad finishes off the barbed gaunts. They now turn their attention to the bulging sacks. I was such a child. I assume so, Frankie. I assume so. So yeah, they turn their in which swarms of termagants are being bred. If the Space Marines can destroy these, perhaps they can save themselves from being completely overwhelmed by the swarm. And then if the Tyranids win, the barbed gaunts display no satisfaction as the last Infernus Marine is slain. Instead, they creep to the bodies of their foes and begin dragging the fallen Adeptus Astartes into digestion pools, so that their rich biomass may be used to feed the growing termagants. The planet's defenders could well be doomed. Lovely. Okay. And then that's what it shows you on the back. Gold and black. And the second half. Bosh. Right. That's issue 7. Done. Any questions? There we go. So, this is the third and final part of it. And of course you get all the bases. So the second half of the thing, but it's the third and final bit. Does that make sense? I'm going to pop all that in the same one. By the way, today I made a peach crumble. And it was absolutely delicious. Like, the crumble was perfect. Mwah. Perfect. Anyways, it was made with my grand secret recipe, which is keep adding ingredients until it looks right. How else do you make crumble, right? Gotta measure it out. Anyways, Combat Patrol, Issue 8. Complete the Termagants, the Second Tyrannic War, and charging into combat. Let's do this. Alright, okay, so painting. It's telling you to paint them all with your Wraithbone. It's going to take you a little bit of time. I would suggest getting a rattle can of Wraithbone, or even of Whitebone, which is a direct color match from the Color Forge, and we have a link for that. If you purchase it through the link, it helps us out. You can get it on what's it, Element Games or Wayland Games, but you can also get it from Color Forge themselves too. So you got a nice pick there, and each one will give you a different deal on it. So yeah, but it will save you so much time. And bang for buck, mate. Bang for buck. It's a color match. It's a bigger can than the rest. It's a good price. There we go. Right, I've done my shilling. Let's move on. So these should all look like this once you add the burgundy as well. Then we go to the Departamento Munitorum. Sound a bit like Snake then. Departamento Munitorum. Harry Potter. Alright, let's... Wars are not only fought with valor and cunning, but with logistics. Within the Imperium, the vast task of supplying its trillion-strong armies falls to the venerable Departamento Munitorum. They supply stuff to the war effort. There we go. Moving on. Signs of office. That's their sign. It's pretty cool, isn't it? The second tyrannic war. Let's go. I was there for the first one. Tyranids of High Fleet Kraken fall upon the Ultramarines in frenzied teeth and claws. Nice. The second tyrannic war. After the first tyrannic war, the Imperium dared to hope that the Tyranids were banished forever. They were wrong. Centuries later, the Tyranids returned in even greater numbers. Spearheaded by the High Fleet designated Kraken, the Tyranids scoured dozens of worlds in a conflict surpassing the first tyrannic war. By the time the Imperium realized the second tyrannic invasion was underway, countless worlds had already fallen. Where High Fleet Behemoth had struck in a brutal singular assault, High Fleet Kraken launched its invasion via numerous smaller but no less deadly tendrils, which attacked on dozens of different fronts. Even when the Imperium did successfully manage to intercept the Tyranids, the tactics employed by High Fleet Kraken proved just as devious as their strategy. The Tyranids would burrow behind Imperial lines, launch deadly ambushes, and strike without warning on every possible front. It took the combined efforts of several Space Marine chapters and a staggering number of lives to eventually halt the second Tyranid invasion at the Battle of Ichar 4. Ichar 4? We'll say Ichar 4. The Imperium was reeling, and the Tyranids had learned even more about how their prey fought. Woo! Francois, how you doing? Hope you're well. Okay, Battle of Hyandon. It was not only humanity who suffered at the hands of High Fleet Kraken. The Eldari also bore horrifying losses at the jaws of the High Fleet. The Hyandon craft world, a colossal city ship home to many Eldari, was invaded by a huge swarm of Tyranid war organisms. No warrior was spared in the defense of the craft world, from hastily raised guardian militias to robotic ghost warriors controlled by the spirits of the dead. By the time that High Fleet Kraken was driven off, a full 4/5 of the craft world's population was dead or dying. 4/5! Can you imagine how devastating that is for a race that's dying out? On Ichar 4, the Imperium finally ended the second tyrannic war. Got his revenge. On countless occasions before the battle, the Tyranids used their adaptiveness and learnings from previous encounters to secure victory. Here, it was the Imperium's turn. Marnius Calgar led battle-hardened veterans from the fighting on Macragge in a series of devastating assaults on High Fleet Kraken's forces. When the Swarm Lord took to the field, Calgar once again duelled the beast, managing to fell it and securing victory for the planet's defenders, albeit with heavy losses on the Imperium side. Ooh. Just got an OOP model in the mail, and it was the best package mini I've ever seen. Oh, nice. What did you get? The Great Devourer. Whatever the mysterious goals of the hive mind to their enemies, the Tyranids seem to live only to feed. Nothing can satisfy the Tyranids' ravenous appetite for biomass. They leave only ruin in their wake, harvesting any and all organic matter they encounter. Nice. Alright. So, Death of a World. How do they do it? Well, first they infest it by invading it. A Tyranid infestation is subtle at first. As the hive fleet approaches, vanguard organisms will make landfall and begin assassinating key targets. Meanwhile, cults tainted with Tyranid DNA will begin rising up, causing chaos on the planet's surface. Once they have a foothold, the Tyranids will attack in force. The hive mind will send wave after wave of warrior organisms into the fray, each successive cavalcade of nightmares better adapted to annihilating the planet's beleaguered defenders. Once all resistance is shattered, the Tyranids will begin to feed. The atmosphere is pumped with choking spores while the oceans are drunk dry by huge void ships. Every scrap of biomass on the planet is devoured and processed for later use. I mean, that's fine, isn't it? A print cereal. Ooh, fancy, fancy. No, I'm glad it got to you safely. Alright, Termagants. As you know, you can roll to give them a little background. And then your nice little checklist is here. It's a build, paint, play. Let me jump in the window. What's this? And then, of course, you got the data sheet as well. So you know how to read that by now. Got your movement, toughness, saving, throw, how many wounds, leadership, and then the OC, which is the objective count. So how much each one counts on an objective. When you're working out who's got control of it. And then there's your ways to attack. And then we go charging and combat. So with our newly found movement skills, you can now check to see if you can charge. So you declare a charge, you roll 2 dice. Actually, you measure first now, don't you? So you choose your unit. You go, okay, I want that unit to charge that unit. Cool. Okay. I'll measure it. How far is it? I just put the floppy fig away. That's what she said. That hasn't got inches. Has this got inches? No, that ain't got. Oh, I have to get it out. Hang on, let me get my floppy thing out. There we go. So you go, look. Oh, look. It's, let's say, 4 inches, yeah? Okay, so I'll roll 2 dice. If it's 3 or less, I didn't make it, you don't move. But if it's 4 or more, poof, you're in there. If it's a 1/2 inch, so say you were like 3.5 inches away, and you rolled it and you got 3, well, because you'd end up 1/2 inch away, you automatically are in the engagement range, which is 1 inch around the enemy unit. So therefore you made it. Bosh. That makes sense, right? Yeah, sure it does. Okay, fighting. So the charging unit fights first, and then yeah, then the other person fights back. Easy enough, isn't it? And then they got the piling in and consolidation rules. And then we bring it over to this. Ambush Predators. So you get a squad of 5 Infernus Marines. against 10 Termagants and 3 von Ryan Leapers. Wow. You win this mission when the last Infernus Marine is slain. However, should all of your Tyranid models be slain, the Space Marines win. Keep the rules for charging close to hand while you play, as you will need them to secure victory. Interesting. So, of course, you want to try and get in combat as quick as possible because the Infernus Marines' guns are horrible. So you want to use the terrain for cover so they can't shoot you, and then get the von Ryan Leapers in there as quick as possible. And there you go. And of course, if the Space Marines win, it says the Tyranids have failed to breach the Space Marines' defensive positions. The Infernus Marines fall back nevertheless. The ammunition is low, and this shift in tactics used by the Tyranids is concerning. They must reload their weapons, rally their forces, and prepare to further devastating attacks from the swarm. And the von Ryans, the Tyranids, if they win, the Infernus Marines fight valiantly, but it is in vain. The last warrior in the squad is impaled gorily on a talon of a von Ryan Leaper. The hive mind commands its warriors to feast on the fallen and to return the primary hive cluster. Having seized the advantage, it is time to launch another devastating assault. Nice! Of course. That's what you get in issue 10. Cool. Moving on. I am spitting feathers right now. I mean, it wasn't a hint, but if you're offering. Can I have a bit of orange juice, please? Thank you. Right. So there we go. Right. So, I think we should take a break from those. We've got issue 9 and 10 to go through, of course. So in the meantime, I think what we should do is have a look at Community Corner. I think that'd be cool. So let's just get it all loaded up. And then we'll be able to see what you lot have been working on, as we're doing a little bit of a catch up on the show today.
The dinosaur sold
For the asking price. Ooh, nice negotiating.
My mum bought it.
Oh, come on, that doesn't count. Should charge her more.
Bought it for the boys. Why?
Why in a kid's cup? Yes! Oh, wow. Alright. Kids went to sleep quite easy, didn't they? Yeah, that's true. Okay, so let's have a look at Community Corner. It's almost loaded up, I promise. Okay, so yeah, I believe it starts from there. It does indeed. Okay, cool. Right, so let's load it up. Portion control. I know, right? It's terrible. So let's get to Community Corner. Blah, 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 blah. That's all I'm hearing. Range, range, range. Thank you. Here we are, Community Corner. That's what we normally do on the Friday, but we're doing a little catch up today. where we get to see what you lot have been working on throughout the week, whether it's completed, work in progress, or otherwise. Ybird here says this weekend's haul, getting ready for the new hobby room. Look at that. That is some real antiques right there. Look at the whirlwind, like the original Rhino chassis right there. Crazy. Like, you know, like the glow up between the Firstborn Marines and Primaris and how everything's scaled up. It's the same from that edition to 3rd edition. Was it 4th edition? Yeah, 3rd edition. Like, the difference in the size of everything. Especially in 4th edition when they started redoing the tanks. So, but yeah, look, I mean, Dark Angels all the way. Even got the banners still intact as well. That's crazy. And then some goblins as well. Yeah, look at that orc right there with his helmet there. Makes you wonder where's the rest of them. But it's nice to see some oldies and goodies, you know. So thanks for sharing that, Ybird. Next is Bearded Celt with this bust of Horus Lupercal. Holy moly. Holy moly indeed. I'd be worried to paint. You know, like, I'm not good at painting large. I tried it. It kind of worked, but there's so much room for texture and blending in that, and it's you can't really deceive the eye so much with it, you know. It's just fantastic. So I'd be intrigued to know where you got it, like where you got it. Was it STL? Did you download it? Did you buy it like that? But yeah, thank you for sharing, Bearded Celt. Right, next up. That was Dave. Like, just before he had his morning fag. There you go. So yeah, lovely. And let's have a look in the work in progress channel as well. Let's just go right to the bottom. So we've got Wickerman paints with a Barbarian Queen by Savage or Forge. Base started, and there is a cloak to add. Lovely. Aha. Those dudes are dead. That's one heavy axe as well. That's like a fun thing to paint. I'll be intrigued to see how that turns out. We also got this. It's the Fungal Queen on Throne from Witch Song Miniatures, supplied by Mini Hala. Ooh. Again, another interesting, the way it droops, you know. Be interesting to see which direction he takes it. Oh, look at the fungal growths on the legs, like on a tree, you know, like right there. That's pretty cool. We got this from Void Captain. It's a Black Shield Legion Tactical Support Marine with Volkite Caliber. Volkite Caliber. There we go, I said it. I bought the arms from the new Mark 6 kit that fit these weapons and only had to add some pieces of styrene cut to shape to fill the gaps in the arm joints. This saved me from having to convert arms to fit the position of the sculpted hands. Yeah. I'm still batch building 6 other Marines for the tactical squad, but decided to make 5 more and use them as a support squad, especially as I love the design of Volkite weaponry and their devastating effect. Plus, their look adds to my force's narrative of using whatever arms and equipment they can get. Boom. I mean, this dude's been working on a sizable force of Black Shield Marauders for quite some time. So, maybe one day he'll finish. But yeah, I agree with you. The Volkite weapons look cool. Very archaic. So yeah, it's nice to see that you didn't have to add a lot of extra stuff, because normally you go crazy with adding tons of extra details. Famous Kitchen. The silence offends Slanesh. Guns need green stuff. As weak as a few other areas, but they're coming along nicely. Ooh, look at these guns. They're going to be the giant sonic weapons, aren't they? And look, these speakers, well, these are to be speakers up here, but it's like jet engines, which I think is a pretty cool way of doing it. And flags as well. This is a walking amp platform. It's great. So yeah, keep us in the loop. What have we got on? Completed it. This is from Bearded Cow. A very, very sultry Princess Peach with a little friend, the Goomba. Looking very precarious there. Oh, and she's in Cos as well as a Bowser. Okay. I am speechless. Let's move on. 2 more done from Frankie Fingers. Hey, here we go. Look how crisp that is, right? These hazard stripes are just, you know, an edge highlight as well. Ooh. Crisp AF. So, there we go. And then we got some stuff from Big Geordie Geek as well. 30k fists and some despoilers and a librarian. Phenomenal. Normally there's something posted every single day, so it's shocking to see there was a break, really. You guys get cool pin-ups and busts. I'm sure you could find them online somewhere. But there we go. That is Community Corner. Love it. So I think what we'll do is we'll do another 2 issues, and then we will bring in memes of the week, and then we'll close the show off with the KFC. So we'll just minimize that. That's a good way to do it. Lovely. More to follow. Ooh, okay. Oh, well, you've said it online now, so it has to happen. No pressure. Alright, let's move that back a bit. I'm sure you don't want to hear all the rustlings. Okay, so let us dive back into the Combat Patrol issues. So yes, you get 2 pots of paint, Retribute Armor and Abaddon Black. Both very handy paints to have, whether you like Citadel paints or not. I mean, Retribute Gold is like one of the best out there anyway. So, but you know, whatever floats your boat at the end of the day. Won't see. So we've got 2 new paints. Oh, we got some lore on Silver Templars. We like Silver Templars, as you can see. Oh, there we go. As you can see. Ooh. To make it more bait. Can we zoom in even more? Maybe. Let's see. That's my face. There you go. Look at that. All of the lovelies up there. Oh, now I've got to return this back to normal size. What an absolute div. Yep. There we go. Ah, you know what? Let's zoom it in a bit anyway, because you don't need to see so much of the background, really. Hey, you can just get that silver templars there. Alright, so, lovely. Jolly Roger, how's it going? What's going on? Well, we're just about to do another read through of Combat Patrol issue 9. So we've done issue 7 and 8. Then we had a look at what people have been working on and posted up on the Discord. Now we're going back to issues 9 and 10, and then we're going to do some memes from our Discord as well. So take a seat. Glad to have you here. Get comfy. I hope you got a beverage as we dive into Combat Patrol issue 9. So it's going to show you where to apply these paints, of course. So you'll want to go back to your previous Space Marines and add it where you need to. And of course the black will be applied to the tunics as well. So yeah, slowly but surely it will build up. Right, and then we get some lore on chapters for Space Marines. So, ever since the terrible civil war known as the Horus Heresy, the Space Marines have been divided into chapters of 1,000 warriors each. These are more than mere military divisions. Every chapter is a wholly self-sustaining entity and is each unique with its own culture, practices, traditions and ways to wage war. Cool. You got your chapter markings and stuff like that. But yeah, there you go. I mean, I could dive in more, but we don't need to. None can say for certain how many Space Marine chapters there are. Some believe there are 1,000, but centuries of warfare and the Imperium's labyrinthine bureaucracy make finding an accurate figure impossible. One thing is certain, each chapter is legendary in its own right. So, of course, you got your Blood Angels, you got your Silver Templars, what up? Rep. Space Wolves down here, and your Dark Angels too. And look, this is part 2 of the Silver Templar story, which is nice. So if you haven't read the part 1, it's in one of the early issues. But we're not going to read it because, of course, it won't make much sense out of context. But more stories of Silver Templars, please. Okay, and then we look over advancing and falling back. So to advance, it is basically your movement plus you roll a dice, and that's how much extra you go. So if you roll 3, you go an extra 3 inches. It does mean you cannot then declare a charge, okay, unless somehow you got a special rule for it. And then it gives you an example of when it's best to do it, like trying to get out of line of sight, or just trying to cross the board to an objective quickly. That's usually good. And now falling back is when you move your movement distance away from the enemy unit that you're entangled with, and you need to be outside of the engagement range. So you've got to make sure you are able to move away, because it sounds silly saying that, but you can have terrain in the way, you can have another enemy unit in the way, so you always got to be able to move away but not bump into anything else. Um, or if you just want to move back so that you can open up the unit to get shot at by other units, that's a good way to do it. And then of course we got our little playthrough. So, pitched battle. In this mission, your goal is to slay the enemy by any means necessary. You win when the last enemy model is slain, and you lose if all of your models are slain. Choose when to attack, advance, and fall back with care. Okay, so you go in with an Inferno squad and a Space Marine captain, and 10 Termagants, 3 Von Ryan Leapers, and 5 Barbcorns. Nice! So, it's all about really just practicing your moving around. Advancing, charging, retreat, shooting, all the good stuff. And then it does a little battle report, which you can read in your own leisure. Of course, if the Space Marines win, it says the Space Marines have triumphed against the Tyranid swarm. However, the margin of this victory was slim. The Space Marines captain foxes his nearby ship for reinforcements. If the Tyranids are truly to be defeated here, he will need more than mere might. This calls for the strange psychic talent of a librarian. And of course, the Tyranids, if you win, says the Tyranids overrun the Space Marines, heedless of the losses they have suffered to get to this point. However, these are no mere beasts hungry for prey. They waste no time in securing the area for further Space Marine incursion. The hive mind is ever vigilant, and perhaps it detects a new threat emerging. And of course, issue 10, you get that, which we're going to see in a moment. Bosh. What a noisy person I am, hey? Inconceivable. Ooh, look at this. So this is one of the new synthetic brushes, or newer synthetic brushes. It's a medium base. I've never used these ones before, but you know what? The choice of this colour has always been a bit weird because it's going to show the most of the paint, you know. But maybe that's when you know it's clean. Anyway, I'll look forward to using it, seeing how it works and how it acts. And of course, we have got ourselves a Terminator Librarian. Ooh, yeah. So I wanted to get my hands on one of these for a little while now, because I think the etched designs are so cool and great for pin shading or pin highlighting even. So yeah, I'm gonna have fun painting that, definitely. So let's move on, because it is a cool mini, like, and let's face it, these the designs on these easy to build minis is just getting out of control good. So it's going to show you how to build it. Nice simple steps to follow, and then of course to paint it with the 3 paints you have to paint it with, or 4 paints even, my apologies. So yeah, it should look something like this. Is one I made earlier. And then we move on to some storytime reading. So, the Ecclesiarchy. In the madness of the 41st millennium, blind, zealous faith is a vital force for holding humanity together. For untold billions, belief in the Emperor and his power is the only thing that keeps them from utter despair, instead filling them with righteous hatred. It's a good way to do it, right? I think so. Okay, so while the Imperium relies on military might and brutal repression to keep its population in line, it is faith in the Emperor that truly drives the majority of Imperial citizens. Warriors charge into battle screaming his name, while workers on countless worlds break their seemingly endless shifts with prayers to the God Emperor. Ooh. It's a big hoax. Alright, we got shrines to the faith. So, cool looking stuff here. And then we also got the Cult Imperialis. The Cult Imperialis is spread and maintained by a vast network of preachers, missionaries. Some fight alongside the Astra Militarum, keeping up the zeal of their fellow warriors. Others travel far afield, integrating the traditions of newly conquered or rediscovered worlds into the Cult Imperialis, ensuring that any local deities are seen as aspects of the Emperor and stamping out any potential heresy before it can take root. Basically, like how Christianity worked. What's mad is that you have entire worlds, like just as a shrine world, right? It's just one big church. So, you know, crazy. Over here we got the Devastator Doctrine. Ooh, I like big guns, and I cannot lie. So, the combat doctrines are the three pillars upon which Space Marine strategy rests. While every commander varies their use of these doctrines, all use them in some form or another, often opening with the Devastator Doctrine. So, Devastator Doctrine is straightforward, effective, and terrifying for the Space Marines' enemies to behold. When using the Devastator Doctrine, a Space Marine force will attempt to break their foe at long range with devastating fusillades. Let me know in the chat. Of fire. Line troops unleash punishing volleys from the bolters, while the great tanks, dreadnoughts, and heavy infantry bring their most destructive firepower to bear. There you go. And there's a Desolation Marine with the absolute, like, crazy looking weaponry. Alright, so here we got a Ballistus Dreadnought over it. Pretty cool. Mortally wounded Space Marines are entombed in Dreadnoughts, huge walking tanks. The Ballistus Dreadnought is armed with a variety of deadly ranged weapons. As the the Retributor Dreadnought was very much more closer combat. It's like had assault type weapons, didn't it? You got the Storm Talon gunship, which is badass. Just goes around, goes pew pew pew. And then we got the Repulsor Executioner. Again, tons of firepower on it. Because you got the missiles, you got the top mounted weapon, you've got your assault weapon, you've got the heavy weapon, you've got the sponsons. It's just rolling after rolling after rolling. It's crazy. So yeah, that's always fun to go up against. Librarian in Terminator armor. Librarians combine the physical might of a veteran Space Marine with strange psychic powers. By channeling the raw power of the warp, a Librarian devastates enemies with crackling waves of magical lightning. Librarians are respected both for their talents and for their guardianship of the chapter's lore. So again, you can roll on the background table, tick off, build, paint and play. Like cool stuff. You want to write down a cool story of what it did in a game, of course you've got the space to do that as well. And here is your data sheet. So of course you've got your regular stuff, your movement, toughness, your armor save of 2+, because Terminator armor, 5 wounds, leadership 6+, and the objective count of 1. But you got this invulnerable save 4+. So if the armor piercing value is so high that it renders your armor save like a 5 or a 6+, or even gone, then you'd use your invulnerable save, which doesn't change ever. And then of course you've got your ranged weapons. So you've got Smite Witchfire, which is a psychic attack. 24-inch range, doing D6 attacks. So it could be 1 or it could be 6. 3+ to hit, strength 5, AP -1, does D3 damage. So there is the potential to do 1 damage or do 18 damage. So it's quite possible if the dice are in your favor. Likewise for the focused Witchfire, which has devastating wounds, hazardous, and psychic. These special rules we'll cover in a little bit. It amps it up to strength 6 and -2 AP, so that's even nastier. But the devastating wounds, I believe, is if you roll a 6 on the roll to wound, you automatically damage them. Like they don't get an armor save to it. And then hazardous means if you roll 1s, you hurt yourself, I believe. So that's the nature of that. And then of course you got your force melee weapon. So your big chunky axe, 4 attacks with that, strength 6, D3 wounds as well, pretty cool. And then you got a cool psychic ability here called the Veil of Time. So while this model is leading a unit, weapons equipped by models in that unit have the sustained hits 1 ability, which is pretty cool. So that means if you roll a 6 to hit, you add an extra dice to your rolls to wound. Cool, isn't it? So that's horrible in a unit of Terminators with Stormbolters. So weapon abilities, we're covering it. We got a pistol, which can be fired even while the firer is within engagement range of enemy units. But you can only target the unit that is within engagement range, if that is so. And a unit cannot fire pistols and other weapons without the pistol rule in the same turn. So that makes sense. Rapid fire. Some weapons are capable of unleashing storms of deadly fire power when the enemy is close. These weapons have the rapid fire rule. So if the enemy unit is within half the maximum range, you double the shots that you get. Usually. But it will tell you how, times by how much, right? So like for here, Stormbolts are rapid fire 2. So that means 2 shots. Which gives you 4 attacks, I believe. And then you've got Blast. So blast weapons get more attacks against units with more models in them. For every 5 models in the target unit, add 1 to the attacks characteristic of the weapon. Nice. This example shows you the unit of 5 Infernus Marines gains 1 additional attack, making the D6 plus 1 attacks rather than D6 against the Barb Gaunts. Oh no, sorry, from the Barb Gaunts to the Marines. Yikes, that's nasty. Torrent. Torrent weapons automatically hit their target, so you don't need to roll to hit. So you just roll how many attacks it has. Bosh. Easy peasy. We got heavy, which the more accurate if the unit equipped with them remains stationary. So you add 1 to the hit rolls for heavy weapons if the unit wielding them hasn't moved in that turn. Very good for snipers. Devastating wounds. Each time you cause a critical wound, that's rolling a 6 to wound. No save rolls may be made against that attack, including for invulnerable saves. Alright. And then psychic. Psychic weapons can only be used by psychos. Blah, 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 blah. Assaults. So, weapons that have the assault keyword can be fired in the same turn that you advance. That's handy. If you want to get into range with the enemy as quick as possible. And then you got hazardous. So, after resolving shooting attacks with a weapon that has hazardous rule, roll a d6. For each roll of one model in the unit is destroyed. If that model is a character, it suffers 3 mortal wounds instead. Yikes. That's not good at all. Not good at all. But there you go. That's the fun of the little gamble of, oh, should I use this ability to the max or not? Alright, so mind over matter. In this mission, your goal is to use the librarian to slay all the Tyranids. You can have an opponent play the Tyranids. They win if they slay the librarian. You can also play this mission solo to practice. So you're going up against 3 Leapers, 10 Termagants, and a winged Tyranid Prime with a librarian. That's going to be tough. And of course it does the little playthrough, so it shows you how that goes. And here we are. So, if the Space Marines win, eyes ablaze with eldritch energy, the librarian dispatches the last Tyranid in a wave of destructive force. With haste, he quells the psychic fire raging within his mind. To further stretch his powers would risk summoning packs of demons, ready to drag the librarian into the warp to be tormented for all eternity. And the Tyranids, if they win, as the librarian attempts to channel more psychic energy, the hive mind directs a portion of its psychic might to defeating him. Momentarily distracted, the librarian attempts to shake off the hive mind's influence, only to be brought down in a wave of slashing claws and gnashing envenomed fangs. It's never a nice way to die with Tyranids, is there? So, with that said and done, what have we got in the next 3 issues? Well, we get some Corax White and Lead Belcher. We also get, which, you know, Corax White is a good paint when it works, but it's so 50-50, you know, because half the time it's all clumped up and dry, or it's really chalky. So I've had very mixed, you know, experience with that. Lead Belcher, no issues ever. It does exactly what it's supposed to. And then, of course, issues 12 and 13, you get your Terminators. So, 5 extra Terminators is always fun to have. And it will come with the little beacon as well. Cool beans. There we go. Any questions? If you've got any questions you wish to ask, then please go ahead and ask. On what you think of those issues. I think they're great. You know, it's one of those things, right? If you have the money and you're interested in getting a little bit of everything, getting the subscription is worth it, right? Because then you've got a little force of everything now, roughly balanced. And you know, if you get mates over often, you could all come together and play. Or if you got you know, like a gaming group, it's perfect, right? Because then you've got lone armies to get people into the game, get used to it. Plus you get all that back stories, you get all the lore, you get all that great stuff. And you know, it changes every edition slightly. So by the time this is done, this edition will be almost over. But you would have collected that sample in time of what that was, and a lot of miniatures, because this is the most. This Partworks has got the biggest miniature count because there's no terrain whatsoever, and the premiums are very tasty as well because they add like an elite unit to each of the armies, which is fantastic. So yeah, it's but I mean, like you know, there's going to be a lot of people who will pick and choose issues as well. I do have a link to Forbidden Planet in the description and of course in the link. So if you want to get yourself specific issues, go for it. Use that link. It helps our channel out. So it's a good way of you getting yourself those issues and helping the channel at the same time. And if you're looking to see what's coming up in the issues up until issue 20, check out Fohammer. You can't compare the way he gets the news because he gets it straight from Hachette. So, you know, it's straight from the horse's mouth. But it's all Nids and Marines up until issue 20, and then after that it's going to be some really cool stuff. So keep your eyes out on that. Now, I think it's time to do some memes of the week, right? I think so. Do you think so? What do you think? Who knows? Did it freeze? Looks like it's frozen on YouTube. I don't know. Anyway. Not on Twitch, okay. So it might have frozen on thing. Actually, let's do a latency test, okay? So I'm gonna say now, and then we'll see how quick you lot can say now in the chat. So I'll give you like 2 seconds to type it essentially, and any time after that, I know there's a latency. I didn't say it just yet, you cheeky monkey. All right, ready, set, now. Okay, so with Twitch, there's not an issue. It's just with YouTube then. Never mind. Right, let's get it all loaded up, shall we? Because I got a hankering for some memes. Okay, let's head over. Here we go. Memes of the week. We're starting off with the Warhammer / hobby memes. I saw this one and I thought I had to share it. And what exactly are we supposed to do with empty Astartes vehicles? Oh man, you can't see it because it's in the way. There we go. I mean, seriously, whose idea is it to bring them here in the first place? Was it Cole? That old cos. I like that. That this is a army not a Forge World storeroom. And yes, I know his angels don't use this pattern anymore, but that doesn't mean priests, tech priests, and they're just like analyzing her like 98% weak flesh compatible. Checking out the armor and everything like that. I don't know why it says size A. These are definitely not size A, but it says simulation ritual calculating, and then it just picture like in the dreadnought. Why are you both looking at me like this? Forwarding simulation to Archmagos Dominos Belisarius Call. Can you imagine if Sisters of Battle actually got dreadnoughts again? I swear they had dreadnoughts at some point. And now they got war suits instead, haven't they? I don't think they would survive to be put in a dreadnought, to be honest. They're not augmented enough, right? Anyway, it's a little bit of fun though. Those kooky tech priests, you know, they're always just there. Cogs swirling, toasters switched on, ready to party. Oh dear. Aaron Dembski Bowden, the Emperor's New Groove. You threw off my you threw off my groove. I can't read anymore. I've gone word blind. That's terrible. I like that though. Drink something. I was yelling at the wife. She got a terrible cold. That was another thing that happened. She came down hard on Sunday with this cold. And like this morning, she woke up. She couldn't breathe. So yeah, it's been a tough one for her because, of course, when I did the medical, I had to leave extra early to get to King's Cross. So I couldn't do the school run. But of course, she couldn't do the school run because she wasn't well. And we haven't got anyone local that we can ask to help. So the kids had an extra day off school, basically. But I mean, once in a blue moon, right? What is this? Weapon and treads. So we've got the Purist. A tank must run on treads. Neutral. A tank can run on wheels. And Radical. A tank can move in any way. And in a weapon, a tank must have a cannon. A tank just needs to have guns. And a tank can have any large weapon. I think this works perfectly, right? Lehman Russ. It's just a tank. A perfectly perfect tank. And then you get this Bone Breaker, which is just... It's more of a truck than a tank, isn't it? And then the Titan, which is... Sure, tank with legs. The Razorback is a tank with a little gun. The Hecaton Land Fortress is a tank. It's just got loads of little guns. And then the Hemlock Wraith Fighter is a tank. No way is that a tank. That's nowhere near. Doesn't have any legs or wheels. And of course you got the Lord of Skulls is a tank. I mean, it looks more like a tank than that thing does. A Talon Jackals. The bikes, they're not tanks. Get out of here. And Commander Farsight is a tank. That is more acceptable to me than the Hemlock Wraith Fighter, right? It's not just me, right? Like, it don't make sense. Anyway, let's move on. Ah, it's the circle of life. He should have threw him off. like in that adjusted clip of The Lion King. I love it. It's just so disturbing. Very disturbing. Alright. Let's have a look. Did we get any more memes here? Oh, we did. Oh, cool. There's Frodo just chilling, looking at the ring. He looks to Sam. He pops it. I see you. You, no, stop it. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? I ain't going back on his finger, that's for sure. Nah. That's just wrong. Okay. Dave has forgotten how to share a video. So, decline. Oh, well, I'm not signing in. Oh, no. 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 I've got to refresh that so we can start from the beginning there. Oh, that's heartbreaking. Right? What kind of sick fuck? Attack the traitor. Yeah, brutal. How dare he? Go away. It's almost that time of the year. Yeah, please do leave me alone. No more of that. Ugh. Every fucking year. Every goddamn year. Anakin. Padme! Obi-Wan. Anakin, forget about her. Remember what I taught you. It's over, Padme. We have the high ground. Yeah, it's over, Padme. We have the high ground. Can you imagine how differently that would have gone? He just left her there, like, bye. That's savage. Is it? Recognized as the world's most identical twins, Anna and Lucy share the same boyfriend named Ben. The twins insist there is no jealousy in their relationship and they would kiss Ben one after the other. Ben has no idea how this happened. Ben is smart enough not to ask questions. That's creepy as hell, right? Like, right? I don't know, man. There's just something very odd about that. Moving on. Is it possible to have feelings for a picture of food? Look at that. I mean, like, get rid of the chips, okay? You don't need chips with Chinese. But oh my god, Chinese, and you got iron brew to wash it down. Oh man, I've had dinner. I've had dinner, and yet I'm looking at this and I'm going. I had a chicken curry, and then like I had homemade peach crumble that I made. Right, I didn't make the peaches; they came from a tin. But like I made the crumble from scratch because it's freaking easy. It's 3 ingredients. You crumble it, done. Bit of cinnamon on top. Mwah. But I had 2 helpers of that with some squirty cream on it. And I'm looking at this right now and I'm instantly hungry. Han. Han. Han!
What?
Come have a look at this. I was going to say danger zone. Look at this food. How much would you smash that?
Money in my t-shirt.
It's well no, there's no camera here.
Oh.
Chinese takeaway with some chips and iron brew to wash it down. I know you swapped the iron brew.
Yeah, that'd be quite nice.
You smash it, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Oh, mate, I want Chinese now.
I know, right?
Yeah. God damn.
Your friends make it.
Huh?
Did one of your friends make it?
No, it's just a meme from the internet. Okay. How Darth Maul got his lightsaber. Wow, an extra piece. It's goofy and I like it, and I have no morals about laughing at that. None whatsoever. Alright. What's the first thing you do after sex? Continue the autopsy while reminding myself that a moment of weakness doesn't make me a bad vet. Oh my god! Wow! What? Oh, did you hear that one? Okay. So it says, what's the first thing you do after sex? Continue the autopsy while reminding myself that a moment of weakness doesn't make me a bad vet.
Ew.
It just gets worse. Oh my god. Yeah, move on from that. I don't want to unpack that. Me in the club after the nice man gave me some Smarties. I can confirm that Waylander does in fact look like that, just without the ears. What's this? He was like, I hate you, and then he made sizzling sounds just like this. That's strange. Obi-Wan being savage as fuck. What's this? Butt plugs from 55.99. Oh my god. I guess you don't have to guess who's got one then, right? That dude is grinning way too hard. Why, Bill? Why? Do I have any others left on my phone, or did I use them all up? No, I actually did have some. Wow. I'm gonna add them now because that's shocking. US size portion. That's not a US size portion of Chinese. That's just like out of one of those little tubs. You know, they pack so much into the little tub, don't they? You think, oh, that's not going to fill me up. And then, like, at the end of it, you're like, oh, bro, I'm stuffed. And then, like, half an hour later, you're like, oh, I'm starving. Here we go. Let's pop them on here. Done and done. Bosh. Here we go. These were Halloween themed ones. So, yes, I know I didn't crop it. I don't care. This round of memes was super savage. You're right. Parents, please check your kids' candy this Halloween. I just found the tragedy of Darth Plagueis. The Y is in my son's candy bar. Be safe. And this one is just over the top. Parents, please make sure to check your kids' Halloween candy. I just found the Death Star plans taken from the engineering archive in the data vault at the Citadel Tower on Scarif inside of a Kit Kat. I saw some Warhammer ones as well. Not Lee Vincent. He did one. He was like, you gotta check your candy. I found some Warhammer in it. So, yeah, it's just silly fun, right? But there we go. Alright, so now I was told there was some, what was it, goblin bases or something like that? Goblin terrain? What was it? Someone in the chat mentioned it. Goblin modular terrain. Snot goblin. There we go. It came up. Wait, what happened there? Oh, it's a Kickstarter. Okay. Let's have a look then. So it says, think. Oh, bloody hell, that's zoomed right in, isn't it? Hang on, let's swap to this one. Hey, that's better. Okay, so it says here, think Legos, but for tabletop. Legos. Only Americans say Legos. It's Lego. It is a plural name. It's Lego. Why do they say Legos? It's Lego. Alright, so created by Snot Goblin. Right, so what we got here? I won't play the video. I just want to see some pictures. So there's some prototypes, there's some design, problems with other products. Unrealistic to prove, more practical but not durable. Terrain sprues, cool aesthetically but limiting and lacking modularity. The solution: Snot Goblin Gaming's flagship modular terrain. Oh, you can fit it all in a box of a Reebok box. That's cool. Looks pretty generic to me, I have to say. Yeah. So, okay. Modular and collapsible. I mean, that's fine. But you know what? The problem with that is you'll end up spending so much time setting it all up, though. You know. So if you have to make extra time for that. But I mean, yeah, it looks fine. It's got the battle damage on it. It's quite uniform. It looks like it fits together well enough. Oh, let's carry on the music. So you get, it's comprised of 11 components. You get straight floor and a corner floor, connectors, walls, sections with windows and everything. And you can just mash them together, build whatever. It's nice to have modular terrain for the flexibility. Don't get me wrong. But it's just, and if that's what you need, if that's what you want, so you don't end up having to have tons of bulky terrain pieces, by all means. But for me, because I don't play anyway, it just seems like a lot of time and energy going into building the terrain just to play. There you are. And then they got video. Okay. So, you know, but it's a good idea. And then, of course, you get all your add-ons and stuff like that. It's not in a bucket. The duelists. Get some extra ruins. Skirmisher. You get 2 U-shaped ruins. Cool. The warrior. Get the full set. Okie dokie. First 40 backers that choose the warrior full set reward will have their product in hand within 2 to 3 weeks. Jeez. Oh, and then you can get it painted. Damn. Gonna be a busy bee, that's for sure. Unpainted. So much money in it. The War Master unpainted. I guess there's a, and there's all the stretch goals as well. Oh, they got winners that get for the giveaways. Oh, that's nice. It's very nice of them, isn't it? All right, so there you go. That's it, really. It's fine. It's all right. It's okay. It's okay. You know, it's not for me, but you know, it's whatever you need, right? It's whatever works for you. That's the whole idea of it. So yeah, grab it if you want it, and let us know how you get on with it. No, it's just dry throat from talking so much. Normally, Underhive Hero is in the chat and he's sending occasional hydrate nudges, so I don't forget to drink. I've got plenty here. I'm sipping it up. Right, you know what I want to do? I want to build this librarian. Yeah. So, have you seen this full color 3D prints with painting software? I've seen something like it because Fohammer has reviewed a printer that has the actually 2 printers now that have the capability of printing in full color. But I'll be happy to have a look at that. Let's have a quick look before I do this then. So it was drink something. So who wants to talk about the election? No, I'm joking. while we wait. What was it? Eldritch Foundry color 3D printed miniatures. That's cool. I think painting your stuff is most of the fun. Yeah, I mean, like, it's something different for people, you know, because some people just want to print their own stuff for the games as and when they want them, but not have the time to actually paint them. So this is a nice compromise in that way, but they ain't cheap, those printers. A long way off from them getting anywhere near, and I don't think they will ever be cheap. They're always going to be quite pricey, but it's fascinating that the technology is there. Oops, not that one. And how it works. So this is Eldritch Foundry, and that stuff which has been printed in the color. Really? No added. Let's see. This campaign show you revolutionary engine will make the process of creating a color printed, custom designed miniature as easy as 1 to 3. We dug deeper. Color engine will enable you to mimic brush strokes, painting techniques, and even different brush types, such as wash brushes or dry brushes. It is the next evolution in custom miniatures that goes above and beyond a simple asset and color selection. You know, they were also discussing this a little while ago on what's it called? What's that podcast called? Jugs, that's it. With Suggs, the Honest Wargamer, and Peachy. And they were exploring the idea, because they saw it at a convention, and they were exploring the idea that you know, maybe artists can get their stuff, like their paint strokes and everything like that, they can have it all done in a way where, like, for example, you could purchase the STL file of how they would paint it, so they could like digitally scan something that they've painted, and then you could pay X amount to get the STL so that you could print it in that style. And what that would do is, one, it would make making money for commission artists a bit easier, because they only have to paint that thing once in that certain way, unless someone wants to change the color or whatever. But two, it means that the money is going straight to the artists, you know. So it's kind of like getting a print of an art, of a piece of art. Like, you ain't gonna get the Mona Lisa anywhere, like the original one, but you can get copies of it. These posters on the wall, they're just copies of the original artwork, right? So you can get a similar sort of idea, but on a 3D miniature, which I think is quite a fascinating way to do it. And of course, those who want to still paint will still paint. So there's everyone wins, really. You know, you get a miniature done in a way that you want it to be done by an artist that you want to support. At the same time, it'll probably be a bit cheaper for you. And yeah, the artist still makes money, which is good for them, because that sort of acts as more like passive income then. Because once they've painted something and then scanned it, that's it. It's on the. It's like when people make STL files and put them on for sale. Once it's up, people could do whatever they want with it. You know, if you put it out for a small fee, you make your money. So I don't see anything wrong with that whatsoever, because it's not stealing anyone's art or anything like that. And it'd be impossible to do that anyway, unless someone specifically commissioned something that they knew they could sell copies of from a miniature artist, scanned it and uploaded it themselves, and then somehow made a profit out of that, which I don't think would really happen. So there's always going to be ways to cheat the system, but I think it's cool. I mean, you could always get copyright on that, couldn't you? So you could always get copyright protected. So there's protections after all. I think the only issue would be then is the fee for the miniature would be split between the artist and the creator of the miniature. You know? So the copyright and the IP would have to be legally balanced there between the artists who painted it and the artists who created it. Oh man, that's a legal landmine. I don't want to get into that. Anyway, PolyJet 3D printing enables us to capture the entire spectrum of color in resin, maintaining our incredible standard for detail and clarity at 30 micron layers on all miniatures. That's good. That's tiny. This is truly the next evolution in 3D printed miniature technology. Our partners at Shop 3D maintain a high level of quality assurance in collaboration with Eldritch Foundry and our printing platform to ensure the best possible miniatures for you. That's how we get the finished product. What comes first, however, is the revolutionary Eldritch Foundry color engine that we're implementing in our character creator online. Oh, that's cool. This new software enables you to mimic brush strokes, painting techniques, and even different brush types, such as wash brush or dry brush, in order to bring your masterpiece to life your way. There's the next evolution, custom miniatures that goes above and beyond. I mean, it's like tweaking an STL file, basically, isn't it? So you create your own character, you choose how it's colored in, and then you can just print. I think that's fantastic. A color engine built into the ubiquitous character creating tool now allows dedicated designers to craft their custom miniatures with a fidelity never seen before. Full color, full spectrum control over every aspect and detail of your character, rendering in stunning detail through our new UI platform. My goodness. Pick your perfect hue. Look, this example here. And you can use it in virtual tabletop simulators as well. Oh, look at that. That is cool. That is cool. You can even simulate techniques such as dry brushing, wet blending, washes and shades, or technical effects like weathering and rust to create an even more immersive, detailed miniature model. That's mad. So while the cost of an individual miniature rises a little when printing color, we offer a number of options to cater to the player's needs, including discounted color 3D prints for retailers at our retailer pledge level, and a new 2-year tier support Eldritch Unlimited specifically for color render downloads to use with VTT platforms. Oh, I can see Ross at Fohammer giving this a go. That's crazy. Okay. Oh, look at that. Oh, it's disgusting. It really is. But the issue is you're gonna need a printer. If you want to print yourself, you need the printer that will print it for you. How much is it though? What are we looking at? Early bird bundle, full color miniature, $35. A discount from the planned retail price of our custom full color 3D printed miniatures. Wow. $100 buckaroonies for full color bundle with 3 full color miniatures. Price starting at $99. May increase if epic poses, mounts, or double sized miniatures are ordered. Oh man. That's crazy. You're gonna drop $1,000 for that. That's fuck you money. You'll have to use their printers. They're the ones who print them. Color printers cost the bot. Yeah, exactly. That's crazy. Look at their stretch goals as well. Print and play adventure kit at $1 million. 1.5 million. Upload custom decal. Oh, Jesus. And they also got followers. Targets. That's insane. 3D color printer. Bamboo Labs. Oh no, that's an FDM. That's not resin. We're looking at resin because there's no way those miniatures are FDM, right? So is it going to be the Strata Sys? $2,500. Fuck off. The world's first full color 3D UV curable inkjet printer. Ah, okay. Let's have a look quick. I say quick. Remember, this laptop is on its last legs. Give it a moment. The Mimaki. Oh, that's industrial sized toy making. Look at the size of it next to that person. Dude. You know what I mean? Okay, with sample gallery, let's have a look. So this is the stuff that they just print out of it. That's insane. But again, this isn't resin, this is FDM. Never mind. We'll find it another time, I'm sure. No, we won't. We won't. No, we won't. Alright. So, there we have it. What a jam-packed night we had. Alright. We had a good catch-up. We had a look at Community Corner, Muse of the Week, 4 new issues, Combat Patrol. I had a good old chin wag and a catch-up, and it's nice to see you lovely folk in the chat as well who've popped up. I don't get to see that often. And it's nice to see the new folk as well coming back. That's always nice. That means I didn't scare you off. Anyways, I think it's time to find somebody to raid, don't you? For somebody to love me. Right, so who are we going to raid tonight? Who knows? You know, just because of the infectious energy, we're gonna raid Macaganius. Alright, so thank you, Frankie Fingers. I appreciate it. So as always, if you're on YouTube, please leave a comment after the show. Let me know what's your favorite Chinese food. Yeah. And if you don't like Chinese food, then just don't leave a comment. Go away. We don't need negative Nellies. As always, leave a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe if you haven't already. And if you're on Twitch, if you're on Twitch, don't forget to hit the follow button. I appreciate that massively. It helps the channel out. And if you want to make yourself some purchases, treat yourself to an early Christmas present, hit the links in the description or on the Linktree link. It's got all the stores there. Costs nothing extra for you to do that, but you get yourself some nice stuff, and a lot of it's at a great discount, so it helps us out because we get a little bonus. So as always, big loves to all of you. I hope to see you again on Wednesday, and have a good night. Bye.